Warning: be sure to read, understand, and follow all the safety rules that come with your power tools. Knowing how to use your power tools properly and safely will reduce the risk of personal injury. Remember to wear the appropriate personal protection equipment, PPE, such as safety glasses and hearing protection, and when necessary, a respirator with the appropriate filters when working with solvents, stains, and finished materials, along with a good pair of nitrile gloves. Have fun and work safe.
Well, I've got a prime reason here why sometimes I just don't like building this specialty furniture. I will show you. Okay, here is one of the sides for these pair of side tables I'm making. And as you can see, it's already assembled. You saw me earlier put this together with some dowel joints. You can still see the marks. Well, to make this work, let me grab one of these here. This front piece has to go in front like this here. Actually, this is the top. But I failed to mark and dowel all of this stuff, and I was thinking, well, if I put the two sides together, then I can just dowel the two sides together with the front and back braces. But as you can see, I'm not going to be able to get my dowel jig in here now. So I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to biscuit joint it, and then I'm going to run some pocket screws. You won't see any of this up here, but I just thought the dowels would be stronger. But now that I think about it, if I can biscuit this and run a couple pocket screws on the back side, both the top and bottom, this is actually the inside here anyways, you'll never see it. So, because there's a wood top that goes over this yet, and it's got like an 1 3/4 overhang, and like I said, there's two more rails like this, one here and one here that connects the other side. So I wish I would have thought about that a little earlier. I could have just about laid all this out, but I thought, well, if I can lay out one side, sand it, router it, and drill it, and then assemble it, well, that one's dry and I can work on the next one. Well, kind of got ahead of myself here, but I'll make it work. But it's just one of them little frustrating things. You try and plan things out ahead of time, and well, you always run the risk of it biting in the bottom. So anyways, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pocket screw it from the back side and also cut a biscuit slot. I may not even cut a biscuit slot. Pocket screws have come a long ways nowadays, and if I put some glue on there, it should hold it together. Plus on the bottom, as you can see here, there's a dado cut in there. There's actually a bottom that's going in here as well. It's just a piece of plywood, but I'll have to notch out the corners of the plywood to go around here, just like the original was. So I'm building this as identical and as close as possible to the original that I had. I'm trying to match here. So anyways, now that I'll pretty much have one of these done, if I ever need to make more, I guess I'll just learn from my mistakes. Alright. Okay, to fix yesterday's little boo-boo I made earlier about not marking and drilling the holes in the sides of the posts to accept the front and back pieces, I still figured out a way that I can dowel this. I'd forgotten before that I had bought some of these dowel center markers. And it's just a little piece of aluminum that's been shaped, and it's got a little point on the end, and this little end here actually fits in the dowel hole. So the way this works is you stick this in the dowel and then you line up where you want it, and you can tap it with a hammer on the other end and make a mark to where your center point of where your hole should be for the remaining dowel holes. So we're going to give this a shot. I think this will be better than doing biscuits, but I still will pop a couple of pocket screws, one in here, and then here's one of the other rails. I got two dowels here, and I'll probably tuck two pocket screws in there. Reason I only want one in here is, well, I could probably get two in here, but two screws that close together when you got this much space isn't going to gain a whole lot. But there is a bottom that's going into all four of these bottom rails, and I will glue and secure that in place, and that'll keep the bottom nice and sturdy. So this will add protection. So I'm going to stick this in here. Well, that's awfully tight. And it'll give me a place to mark where the center of the adjoining hole will be. Okay, here you can start to get a sense of how this is going to work. I've got just some of the bottom rails set in place, and I got the one top one here in place here, but it's not drilled here yet. I was just laying out the bottom here. I have to put a bottom in here as well, and what I actually did was, I'll show you on the back side here, so I just notched this out on the table saw, much like the same way I notch out toe kicks. I didn't record it just because this was kind of a test piece here. I just wanted to verify that it was going to fit and everything, and it does fit out very nice. The key is not to have any gaps between the two shoulders here. And as you can see, it's a nice fit. And also, because of the saw blade I'm using, there's not really too much of a, you can see a pencil line there, but there's not too much of a square corner by the radius on the post there, so that actually turned out very well. I debated if I should make the shoulders a little bit wider and leave a gap around the post like the original was, but being that this is a plywood bottom, it's not going to move too much, very little, in fact probably not at all, so that way I can glue this in place to help give it some more sturdiness. So I'm going to finish laying all the dowel holes, and once I get them all laid out and drilled, we'll start putting it together. Okay, those of you wondering what this is going to look like, this here is all dry fit. This is the dry fit product. Here is the front cross. I just got it held in place with the quick clamp for the time being. But as you can see, the back side is open. And you got everything ready to go. Just want the dry fit, make sure that the bottom fit correctly, which it does. And unfortunately, I was digging through all my scrap plywood, and I only had one chunk of oak 3/4 inch plywood that was big enough. So now I'm reluctant to dig out another sheet of plywood to cut out one more piece that's 13 3/8 square. I'm going to still scrounger. I'm sure I can find something here. So, but yeah, this is what it looks like when it's all assembled. So now, being that this side is glued together and this side is glued together, I just need to glue in the top and bottom rails in the front, and the top or bottom and top rail and back. And I am going to cut a couple pocket screws here, and then a couple over in that corner as well, and I'll do the same thing on the front, on the back side here. I'll do the same thing on the bottom. everything is doweled right now, but I just want to give it a little more rigidity. And also with this here, this will get glued in place, so this will be pretty solid when it's all said and done. And then I'll also put in some pieces up here to fasten the wood top. So the wood top is a piece of solid stock here. As I move the cross, there's the two solid tops. They need to be trimmed down yet, so. But yeah, I just thought I'd get one together here so you can see what it is, what it actually looks like. I still need to do a little bit of work on the cross. I need to router in a small cove, probably like probably about an 1/8 inch cove, which is what the original had. And I'm going to use the tip of a classical bit to do that. So, and then also there's a piece of cherry that goes on the front here as well. About 3/4 inch wide and 1/4 inch thick. Actually, it's just a 1/4 inch wide ripping that's laminated on its edge to the face of this here, and it also goes down here as well. So I'll have to do that after I router this and finish sand this piece. So, but anyways, it's coming along. So there we have it. It is all glued together, and the glue's sitting up right now. I noticed it teetered a little bit and was sitting kind of crooked. So this is my leveling system. I just took a couple pieces of scrap plywood and laid a heavy motor on top. I think it's like a 1-horse. Anyways, and I know that my table saw table's flat, so I have it sitting on the cast iron top. And I got, like I said, the heavy motor in there weighs probably about 40 pounds, and that's putting pressure on the joints. They're setting up right now to glue up square and flat as possible. Still has a little bit of a teeter to it, but it isn't bad. So, but it could be. It was about a 1/16 of an inch wobble, and it could very well be. I do remember one of these sides being off about a 1/16 of an inch diagonally. And I didn't want to chase my tail and trying to get that perfectly square, because it could have been anything causing it a square. I know that my joints are cut probably within not even of 1/4 of a degree. I did check the saw, and it seemed to be it was cutting square, but it seemed like it was cutting bowed a little bit too. So it could be anything from these not being perfectly parallel, or just one of the joints being slightly off. So I'm going to let that sit overnight, and then when I come back, we'll trim up the top and finish out routering out the cross that goes in the front, and go from there.